And we are live. I am Max Gieser, and I am live with the villain of Squid Game: The Challenge Season 2, the poker player himself, player 198, player 183. What number are you? What is
Yeah,
it? 183.
183.
183. There it is. Steven from Squid Game: The Challenge Season 2. Steven, how's it going?
It's good, man. How you doing?
Good. Sorry, so many numbers. I'm like losing
Oh yeah, I
track
know.
a little bit. Too many.
Honestly, I couldn't even remember half the time. I mean, in the games, like our minds are on nothing else, so it's easier to remember player numbers. But then once we leave, it's just like it's all jumbled up. We don't remember.
Yeah, and it's not like counting cards, right? A little
Yeah,
different.
it's a little different. A little
Yeah.
different.
So, how did you end up on Squid Game? By the way, how did this whole thing end up happening?
So not like most people. I heard that some people got like DMs. Some of the people on there were influencers already, so they got like
Mhm.
DMs and specifically picked. I low key just applied and got in. Like I actually applied for Love Is Blind, and then I never got an email or casted or anything. I don't even think they ended up filming in Phoenix and Vegas areas, but that was like the call to action. And because I emailed them or applied for Love Is Blind, I got another email saying, "Hey, we're also casting for Squid Game." And at that time, I hadn't even watched the challenge, but I was like, "All right, well, I'm here. Let me just apply for that." And I got a call like within a week, so I was like, "Yo, I got to watch this show before I get cast out of here."
So, you were interested in reality shows, period, not necessarily competition shows.
Yeah, yeah. Looking for love. I already
Looking
am
for love.
financially successful, so I wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily looking for that, but yeah.
And then you somehow ended up on like kind of the most gambly competition show.
Yeah. I guess it makes sense, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I did put in there about my poker background and such, and that's why I think it kind of stood out because it's basically one big poker tournament,
Yeah.
essentially.
What appealed to you about Love Is Blind? Like you were fully into the idea of getting married that quickly?
I mean, that part is a little bit scary, but just the authenticity of like not having distractions. I feel like you can just really connect with people. And I did learn in Squid Game that you really connect with people quickly when technology is taken away. And I think Love Is Blind is like the same premise where you're just in a room and the only people you can talk to are the people you're on dates with. So I feel like people just connect more organically and they just get down to the root of like, hey, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? So the tough questions are asked early and you're just cutting through all the other bullshit. So I like that part of it. And just as a viewer standpoint, it felt so good watching some of these people actually fall in love, actually get married. I don't know if that would have happened to me, but I wanted to at least try and see.
I think you would have been a great character on that show, so I would
Appreciate
have
it.
been
Appreciate it.
very interested.
Hopefully
Let's
the
see.
dream's not dead yet. I've put that
I know.
out
I think you could still end up on a dating show and you'd be a great character.
there.
Well, let's get to Squid Game. We didn't see you till the second drop of episodes, right? You weren't featured. I didn't miss anything. Did you pop in at
A
all?
little bit in 3 and 4, but I had like little one-liners. It wasn't anything like a lot. It was just a
Mhm.
couple little blips.
What was the initial part of the game like for you for the parts that we didn't see? What was the counting game like for you when the counting was going on?
So
Let's
that was
start
just
there.
like I'm just in the corner praying. Like I hope we got in the right room here because there was already so many people that had like something to give as far as like we had musicians that have the tunes in their head. So it was like there's nothing I can do to help these guys. If anything, I'm just going to be a distraction. So let's just put all the faith in these guys' hands, and we're going to go over here and just like pray that they do it right. And that was kind of the strategy for like the first few games is just like, hey, kind of stay out of the middle of everybody because you don't want to pose too much of a threat or too much of a personality because then people see you as a threat. And I kind of wanted to fade to the background for the first little bit of the game, I guess.
Were you counting in your head during the time, or was it just like let's do?
No,
Yeah, no,
not
yeah.
at all. They were counting out loud, and I'm just like, you know what? Let these guys have it. And it was nerve wracking. I'll tell you that. I'm just sitting there like, oh, please, because like that's the moment where you're going to be in Squid Game, or you made it all this way and you're not really going to be in Squid Game. So it was intense.
Do you think that your experience with odds and kind of your experience as a poker player let you just be able to accept your fate better than other people?
100%. Yeah. And that's why I was carefree like the whole time. And people were just like, this guy's an asshole. No, I just don't care because I already have a good life. And like some things are left up to chance. And I'm just a big believer in things will be the way they're supposed to be. And then in tournament poker, you're losing like 15%, 10 to 15% of the people make money in tournament poker. So in like one tournament, 85% of the people that enter a tournament are going to lose. So you just get used to this like losing mindset and just being able to accept that and just come back stronger. So I just was okay, accepted my fate already. Like even entering it, I wasn't entering it to make 4.5 million. I was just like, well, this would be a cool experience. So I just had a different mindset the entire time.
Yeah. How about when we get to the pentathlon? What part of the pentathlon were you doing?
So I lucked out because I'm a lucky guy,
Yeah.
and I got the jeggy, which is the one with the foot. You just have to hit it 3 times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we were actually split into, it was 5 and 5, but there was 2 groups that had 8 people. So we were in one of the groups that had 8, and I think they just didn't show those groups for.
So Kate was in your group for that.
Kate was in my group. Yep. And we didn't have to do the ball and cup since we had 4. That's the game they eliminated for our 4-on-4. And then Kevin 402, that's like my ride or die. He really wanted to do the flying stone, even though he messed it up like 5 times. That shit was stressful. And then Kate adamantly did not want to do the jeggy, the foot one. She's like, I'm terrible with my feet. I just don't want to do that one. So it kind of put her on House of Cards. And we had a secret weapon in Emily, sweet Emily. I can't remember her player number. She was the one I played in marbles. She was like a gongi expert, so she could do all the die. So we were like, okay, that's awesome. And then Kate kind of got stuck on the cards, and then I was just left for jeggy. I was like, I'll do any of them except for the gongi because I hadn't practiced it, and I just got the easiest one.
How early was your alliance with Kate formed? Like, when did you guys become buddies?
So that probably right after that. I actually, when we were getting into teams of 10 or 8, as you will for us, I didn't even really know who she was, but she was with Savannah, which was a player that actually we got divided across. So she was on the other side, and then Emily was on our side. Kate was on our side. So I had just met Kate like literally during that game, but obviously since then we formed a pretty close bond.
Yeah, but your alliance with Kevin was even closer than your alliance with Kate?
Yeah, way closer. Because actually they put us in, I don't know if you heard this, they put us in hotels for a couple days before we went into the games. And I think that a lot of that was to de-stimulate us. We didn't have our cell phones in the hotels either. And we were kind of like, we had to be in our room. If you get out there, there's like a dorm hall monitor that won't let you pass. So we can only leave for like lunch and dinners. So we kind of like got to talk to a little bit of people while we were eating. And me and Kevin were like kind of hallmates, and we just hit it off right away. So even before going into the game, we had a little bit of a connection already established.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think they could. That makes sense that you guys were able to like interact. You can't really isolate 456 people.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah, exactly.
How did catch go for you? Which catch line were you in?
So I think it was the pink one, but it was the one with Mark, player 100. I was in all that drama. I was a couple players behind him.
Oh, you were. So did you end up catching?
Yeah, I did. And they just showed a fast glimpse of it. Mm-hmm. And we what we tried to do is we put people that were a little bit more nervous about it, but like maybe they can catch in the front. And then the people that really just like, hey, I suck, I can't do this, all the way in the back to kind of protect them. And then we had like a long string of like more athletic people in the middle. And then so it was like me, Kevin, Leon, and that was like the 3 in a row. So I caught from Leon, and then I threw to Kevin. We were actually talking about, we're like, dude, you better one hand that. And we were really thinking about just one-handing it, but then as like once it like became our turn, we're like, all right, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking than you think, even though we're just catching a ball. But it's like, hey, we have a lot more to lose than to gain from this, so let's just make sure we catch the ball. And we ended up two-handing it because we weren't going to do that, but we did think about it.
And then we get to Mingle. How did Mingle go for you?
Mingle was a shit show. That was just not fun at all. That's when really people started stabbing each other in the back a lot more. There was just like we had to figure out the numbers. Like, so I was the numbers guy for our team. Like, okay, there's this many people left. It's divisible by this to an extent with like, that means that 4 people will get knocked out. That makes sense. Oh, but if it's divisible by this number, 10 people will get knocked out. That's too many. So we had to kind of work and try to figure out what numbers they were going to call. And that was kind of what I was doing. But then we had other people being like, okay, I'm going to come with your group if it's 9. And then if it's this, but then they're telling this to this person, they're telling that to that person. So they're really just screwing each other over just to worry about themselves. So it's really, really, really cutthroat. And the edits were soft on that. I mean, there was a lot of swearing. I mean, we were in the rooms just like, F this guy, F this person. They screwed us over. They're blah, blah, blah. It was bad. So there was just a lot of tensions in that one. It was not fun. And that whole part where we were just like, we're not playing anymore, we're quit. Like we did that 2 different times. We tried to quit because it was just so uncomfortable. It was probably one of the most uncomfortable things I had to do. Like just because just everybody, just the tensions in there and everyone's screwing each other over. And it just didn't feel right. You know, like, I don't know. It sucked.
So how exactly did it come about? Like it was just like, this is too tense. This is like too uncomfortable, too much kind of like inner turmoil. We don't want to play the game. We're just not going to do it.
Yeah. And everyone, there was one point where everyone's like, let's just split the money. And that's why I'm like, they're not going to let us split the money. That's not good for TV. And like,
yeah,
you know, I think that was the part where everyone, I think there was like 50 or 40 players left, right around there, somewhere 40 to 50. And I think that's when people started to really being able to like just feel the money. And they were getting a little bit nervous because like nobody else gets money but the winner. So everyone's like, holy crap, I'm getting close. And so everyone's thinking, oh, $100,000 or, you know, whatever. So yeah, everyone started getting, I get a little bit more nervous, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the first time you guys do this, I guess it was kind of like, you know, production convinces you to keep going somehow.
Yeah.
The second time, guards just appear.
Yeah. Well, they were like, they're like, we were kind of like rebelling or trying to, and then they got us. And that's how they got us, because we were all, the whole time, we're like, we're not going to get in pairs of 2, like throughout this whole thing. If they say, hey, find a partner, we already know they're going to bring marbles. But because we were so like infuriated and just stressed out, they got us with that, where they're just like, okay, get in teams of 2. And we're like, okay, we're thinking we're going to have to play it again. But then there was like a delay. They didn't start the music. So we're like, okay, we're still not going to play, but we all had like a partner. Mm-hmm. So they got us, because if I would have known it was marbles, you know, we all would have just chose someone maybe we didn't like as much and then just been like, hey, but yeah, they got us to find our like close people.
Yeah. Now getting into marbles. So who did you play again?
Emily.
Okay.
We call her Sweet Emily. I can't remember her player number Emily. For some reation. But yeah, she was the sweetest.
Now
she had a really high pitched voice.
You played. Did you play like a very similar game to the finale game you played at the dinner with the guessing of the coins? Did you play a marble guessing game?
Essentially it was the same game, actually. Yeah. And we actually were talking about, because we get to choose whatever game we want to play. Mm-hmm. And at first I'm like, okay, let's do a throwing game. And she's like, you're just going to beat me. Like and I was like, I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to have it like an advantage over you. So then I was like, okay, let's do one throwing game and one guessing game, because I don't want to leave it all to chance. And then we'll like tally up a point total or something between the 2 games. And she's like, no, you still have an advantage. And I'm like, okay, Emily, we can play 100% guessing game. It's just like, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was like, we'll put one marble in one hand, and then we get like 5 or 10 guesses each. And if she guesses them, hand the marbles in, then she gets that marble, and the first one to like 5 marbles wins. So it's just 100% guessing game, but we did multiple rounds.
Did she know your profession?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, they made that edit look more villainous than it was. I mean, literally, she was beating me by 3 marbles, and I had to get the next 3 in a row. Otherwise, I was toast. Or she was beating me by 2, but it was first to 5. It was like 4-2. And then I just went bang, 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 and somehow came back and beat her. And when I won, she gave me the last marble. And she's like, you win, you're the winner. And she was all sweet. And that's why I made that face. I'm like, oh, man, like, it just didn't feel that good. Like, she's so sweet. And then I literally hugged her for like 30 seconds. But of course, the edits, they just show me kind of like standing over her and then just walking away. But it was like actually a really sweet moment that I wish they would have captured, but it didn't fit the narrative of my villainous. So, you know.
No, if you had won, it would have probably been shown differently. Yeah.
That's true. That's exactly true, because they go from the winner and then they backtrack narratives, right? So it would have been a completely different show, right? Maybe they would have showed my comedy in it too.
How how much of an advantage do you think you have in games like that due to being a poker player? Like, how much luck is it, and how much do you think, like, knowing how to bluff and knowing how to have a poker face really helps for stuff like that?
In marbles or in the game in general?
In guessing games, like with the hands, like for the finale guessing game with the coin, and just
Yeah.
particularly with the guessing games.
Yeah, I think a little bit. I tried to like for marbles, for instance, for like Emily, I was trying to see like, because there are like certain tells you might have if someone's like squeezing one hand tighter, and I did try to see if she was, but I got no reads on it. And then other than that, she was just smiling, and we were being kind of silly. So in that particular game, I didn't have an advantage, but I think in general, poker players would have a little bit of an advantage in games like this, just because there are little tells and reads that you can get. But I don't think I was able to experience any of that advantage or get any of that, especially with Trinity just giving me the way he kind of gave it to me. I didn't know that that's what he was doing, but he kind of already guessed the right, which, and then he was like, no, I want the other one. So I was like, okay, well, the other one is in this hand. It was just, it was weird. I didn't realize in the moment what he was doing, but yeah, back to your question. Yeah, I think there is a bit of an advantage, but I wasn't able to utilize any advantage. It didn't feel like, at least.
Cool. So the next, so this came up. What was the context of your mom teaching you poker? Was she a poker player? Like, how did that come up in your life that your mom started teaching you poker?
Yeah, so I mean, poker and cards in general are just big in our family. Like my grandpa played poker a lot. He still does, actually. He goes to casinos and plays Texas Hold'em. And I think he taught my mom. He has 3 daughters, and my mom's the only one that kind of took on poker. She would always go down to the Detroit casinos because I grew up in the Detroit area. And we obviously I couldn't go with her, but we would play as family and stuff. So she taught pretty much all of us when we were, I was probably 10 to 12, somewhere in there. And my sisters didn't like it as much as I did. I just grew a love for it. And then I started playing with friends, little home games, and then playing online because I just loved the aspect of it. And it was like the World Series of Poker, like the main event. That was what was on TV on ESPN. That was like one of the only tournaments that was ever televised. So I grew up watching that and just like dreaming and idolizing, being like, I'm going to be on that stage one day. I just fell in love with it since she taught me.
How long were you competing before you won the $6 million in the World Series of Poker?
So I've been competing since teenager, but I wouldn't really count that because you're just playing with friends and stuff. So that's it probably doesn't count.
Professionally, I guess semi-pro.
Yeah. And then when I turned 21, I was in casinos and I thought I was the man, but there was a lot I had to learn. So I really didn't start becoming really good, I would say, until I was like 26, 27. And that's where I think I told a story on the show that I won like 57 grand. I think it was 27 or 28. And that's when I started becoming like a lot more sharp, getting the nuances, the little stuff that goes a long way and creates edges. So probably like 15 years, but more like a good poker player, the last 10.
So how old were you when you won that money?
The 57, 27, 28.
And then the 6 million you were...
That was 2 years ago. So I was
2
35.
years ago. Okay. Yeah. So it was pretty recent to the show because you were 37 on the show. Yeah. So yeah, just trying to put it all together. It's very interesting. So the next game. So how does the pressure of Squid Game and being on Squid Game compare to playing the World Series of Poker, or the thrill of it? Like, how did that compare?
So I think I was in a different mindset because I'd already won money previously. So going into Squid Game, I'm like, there's no pressure. This is just a fun experience, right? In the main event, once you're like in the money and you're like, there's definitely a lot more pressure, but at least there's consolation prizes along the way. Like if you get knocked out, you're still going to make X amount of money, or Squid Game, it's winner take all. So honestly, I would say there was a lot more pressure in Squid Game, but only when I got down to like 10 players left. Because then you're just like, holy crap, this isn't within reach. And second place gets 0. So you're just kind of a little bit stressed. Whereas like a big tournament like the main event, the top 9 players at the final table are all guaranteed $1 million.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's a pretty good consolation prize. So I think there was a lot more pressure in Squid, but only when it got down to like fewer numbers.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into slides and ladders. This is kind of, I feel like, where you really became a large character on the show. What was it like playing this game for you?
Well, it sucked. I was really looking forward to it. We walked in and like just the stage, the setup of it was just beautiful. It was just like, holy crap, this is a really cool set.
Yeah, it was
It was
so
by far
cool.
the coolest set, I thought. It was just so cool. And we were really looking forward to playing it, but it was only like 5 minutes in where our team just got absolutely destroyed. And then it was not fun anymore because I came out of that slide a different person. I was seeing red, like,
Yeah.
because we were 100% we were going to eliminate one player because we had to go down different slides at the same time, which means one of us was going bye-bye. And in my head, I'm like, you know what? If Kevin goes, I'm totally cool with that because that's my guy. Like, let him take the reins. And I'm just expecting, both of us, I think, are expecting to just not be in the game anymore because it's just like dumb luck. And then I popped out through the same side, and I'm just like, okay, here we are. I don't give a shit about any of these people anymore. I'm coming for that team, and I don't even care if I eliminate myself. I was just like, I'm getting revenge, or I'm gonna try, but like, I just lost my guy, and then I felt pretty lonely in there because I mean, I guess I had Kate, but she had some other alliances too, but I just felt like I had nobody, so I didn't want to even continue. So I literally was like coming after the yellow team like I did just because I didn't care if they could eliminate me. I was just like kind of just like I had no care to continue, to be honest. It was a weird mind shift that just happened as I came out.
Yeah, you seem to so it seemed like you were in more of like this game player mindset, and then the other players, particularly Perla and then Kate, got a little into it. They were coming from more like an emotional kind of side of it, and you seem to take this is the way it played to me. It seemed you were almost taking like offense that they were being emotional almost. Is that how you felt about it? Like, why were you so upset that they were being emotional in the moment?
Well, I wasn't upset that they were being emotional. I was upset at the names I was being called off.
Okay.
They didn't show.
Well, they didn't. Okay. See, now what were they calling you?
I'm not going to repeat anything. But there was one person in particular that was saying pretty nasty things, and I never got out of character and said anything. But it was just the height of emotion. So it was like, but you're yelling at me and calling me names, and then crying about it. It's like I'm not crying. Like I don't know, but everyone's mindset was just like, this money's going to change my life and my family's life. I was not in that mindset because I've already had that happen. But that also, that mindset puts a lot of pressure on somebody. So I think these people just are not used to competing for this amount of money, and nobody is, right? So you just don't know what kind of mindset to be in. But for me, it was just obvious that like, don't stress about it. But I think it was getting to everyone's head because they're not in this position, and that puts more stress on them. Then it becomes emotional. So like, it makes sense. I understand why like Perla was crying and a lot of other people were crying because it's just a lot of pressure. But I was just able to not have that pressure on myself because I know the kind of mindset that you're supposed to be in. And I've already won a lump sum of money. So like, I'm in a different mental state in general, I guess.
Yeah.
But same with Kate, because she kind of gave Perla a snarly remark because it was just reactionary. And I think she's also in the mindset, like, this could do a lot for my family, my son. But when you're thinking like that, it just puts a lot of more pressure on you. And yeah, just, it's all reactionary stuff, but yeah, I mean, I can't blame anyone for the way that they acted at the end of the day. We're all cool now, which is the main thing, It's just when you're playing for that amount of money, the tensions are of course going to be high.
Yeah, you and Deja and Perla seem to have this rivalry going during the game. Did things just feel tense at all times with them?
Yep. And it sucked. It sucked being in there because just like you're sleeping in a room of, let's say there were 6 people, there's 5, especially once Kate was out. It was just me and 5 people who didn't like me, So, I mean, me and Vanessa were cool, but we weren't that cool where we had chatted. So, like, I don't really have much relationships with these people. So it was just tense the whole time. And it was just like, yeah, it was unfortunate that it had to be that way. But, that's kind of just what happened. I think Deja never really cared for me at the beginning, and that's fine. Everyone is not for everyone, but she really got heated when I took out her friend Faith. And that's when I think it escalated and she was gunning for me kind of thing. But she never really had the chance to do anything with it, which I knew once you get down to like 10, 11 players, they're not going to give one person power to eliminate somebody else. That's just way too much power. Right. So that's why I was like, it doesn't matter. What are you going to do? You can't do anything about it. Like, unless I lose on my own account. But
yeah. And what's your relationship like now?
We're all cool. it was a little tough with Deja at first, just because you know that was the real what's the word I'm looking for? That was the real clash, was me and Deja. Me and Perla on screen might look like more of a bigger clash, but we squashed it pretty quickly, and we were cool. And then Deja, wasn't sure how that was going to go, but we just did a bunch of interviews last week, and we all got along, and we made a TikTok, and I think we're on pretty good terms now. So that feels good to kind of put it behind us.
She's not going to arrest you. You don't have to hide from the law.
I don't think so, but hey, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. Maybe I should watch my back.
Yeah. So here we go. We get to Circle of Trust. Did you have so when you saw it was Circle of Trust, did you have a strategy going into it?
Not really. I thought I had an advantage because I'm used to being put in a spot like this where you have to try to like talk to people, and like I wasn't as confident as like putting a box on a desk as if I were like people. If they put a box on my desk, I feel like I could interrogate pretty well because I know like physical tells when people are bluffing for poker. But also I was thinking no one's going to put a box on my desk because they know I'm a poker player. So like, hey, I feel good about this, right? But unfortunately, I had to place 2 boxes, which was bullshit. And it was a lot more uncomfortable than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Why do you think that your season was so bad at guessing compared to season 1?
I honestly, I think a lot of it is luck. And
yeah, me too. Me too.
I think like, because what's his name on season 1? He got 2 people.
I know.
He guessed right. What was it? I can't remember his name.
Phil.
Phil. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's a legend. Like to be able to do that. Like, and maybe he had physical tells. I'm not sure, but
there were less people, I think, because they got down to the final 3 playing Circle of Trust.
Yes. So that helps tremendously too, because we're playing with 11 only down to 6. So like, and you're just kind of shooting your shot in the dark.
You guys had terrible odds. I mean, that's really hard to guess.
You're kind of screwed. If someone puts a box on your desk, like good luck, because with those numbers,
you can see nobody got it right. I mean, it's terrible. Yeah.
There was one person that, I mean, well, shit, Deja almost pegged me, but she didn't want to tell Faith just in case she was wrong. So she must have had a tell there, or she just didn't like me enough to like not let me get past that, or who knows.
What do you think about that? Do you think she should have said something? And
she said she's regret that's her only regret is that she didn't say anything. I'm glad she didn't, but I understand why she didn't, because she didn't want to. Like, imagine if she had, and then boom, the other lady went off, or Faith went off, and it wasn't me. Then she just feels so guilty.
Yeah,
So that's why she didn't. But I think I was a little bit nervous there. And I think I said something and my voice cracked a little bit. There was a moment where I was like, dang, that sounded nervous. And I think Deja did pick up on that. So, kudos to her for that.
Why did you admit to killing Faith afterwards?
Because I know Deja, and I know if I lie about it, she's just going to keep asking. And she's going to stare me in the face, keep asking, and just be so intense with it that I might as well just tell her now. Because I also thought it wouldn't change anything. Like, yeah, you're going to hate me more for it, but you're not going to be able to eliminate me, because there was only 6 of us left. So that's where I felt comfortable. Like, what are you going to do about it? They're not going to like let you eliminate me. It's all going to be games from here on out. So I was just like, why lie about it, kind of thing,
And then why did you then not just tell the truth about the other person that you killed?
I did. They just didn't show it on camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We actually talked about it, and I eventually did.
Oh, you eventually did. When did you reveal it?
When we went back to the dorms, not in the circle. Nobody asked at that time.
Oh, okay.
But like when we went back in the dorms is when I admitted it.
Did anybody else admit who they killed?
Kate admitted to me privately, but nobody else admitted the entire time, which was really pissing me off. And that's part of the reason I withheld the information about AJ's, because I was like, no one else is saying shit. It's like, I know one of you guys had at least, like, there was 5 boxes put, somebody's lying, and nobody else would confess. And it makes sense because AJ was one that had to do it, and she was out. And then Kate was the other one. So that's why nobody confessed, because it really wasn't anybody. But in that moment, I'm thinking, you guys are all lying to me, So kind of you go a little stir crazy,
Yeah, that's actually really funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This has been really on my mind. Okay. How did dating somebody lead to being $55,000 in debt?
Okay. Yeah. So you did hear that part. I wouldn't put the blame on that person, but we had not a great relationship, and it was a long distance that now I moved her across the country, and so I feel like I'm responsible for this person starting a new life. She didn't have anybody there, so she was like kind of depressed. Not to get too deep into things, but because of that, I was like, okay, I need to make her happy. So I'm like not working, trying to take her out, took her shopping, spending money on this or that, and just not concentrating on my business and more concentrating on my relationship and just racking up credit card debt. So, I mean, I can't put a blame on anyone but myself, but I was just, I'm an empath and I'm a lover. And I'm like, when people around me are not happy or they're feeling a type of way, I just want to help. Right. So I was just spending too much money and not working enough. So essentially it was my own fault.
Yeah. We got to get you on Love is Blind. I really want to see how you'd operate in that relationship. I think
appreciate that. Yeah.
Great
that would be awesome.
You know? Yeah.
Or something similar to it, right?
Like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Put it out there.
Will you change or will you repeat the past? Let's see what happens, you know?
Yeah, right. Shit, if I can get into that now, then I got a big problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we got to see.
Yeah.
All right, so this is also what I've been thinking about. Why did you decide to reveal to Kate that you were a millionaire?
Well, I was kind of nudged. That was the only thing I was nudged to do the entire season, but I was nudged to open up to people and tell some more of a story by some of the producers. So I was like, okay, well, Kate's the only person I can like open up to, and she's going to receive it well. Surely I was wrong. But that's why I told her, because I was like, well, she's the only person I can feel like I can tell this to. And I think it was viewed just like a bad intent kind of thing. I was only sharing it because I was so close with her. I thought she'd be happy for me and it'd be this moment like, but that was not the case. She was like, well, you know, of course she was immediately a little bit offended, but I mean, it was just reactionary because I have talked to her after and she wasn't really upset. I think the editing made it look like she was more upset than she was, but she definitely was like taken back in the moment. And it sucked because then I really felt alone because that was like all I had left. Yeah,
that
was
so interesting because when I interviewed her, she said that when you told her, she thought nothing of it at all.
Well, her reactions didn't say so, right? You remember how
that is not what I thought. I don't think anybody wouldn't think any of it. I would think anybody who was told that would think, why is this person telling me this? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there has to be some reason, even if they don't judge you for it. I would be, why is he telling me?
Yeah, she probably thought that, which is why she reacted like, is he gloating? Like, what is he doing? Is he bragging? But the only reason I did is because the producers were like, hey, you need to like kind of share more things. So, yeah, it was unfortunate. And it was a weird kind of forced bit there.
Were you worried that she would tell someone and that it would somehow jeopardize your position in case there was an elimination or something like that?
Not at all. I know she didn't have a really strong relationships with the players left as well. So it was kind of just like me and her. So regardless of how she reacted in that moment, I still feel like she was my strongest ally. And I really did not like to see her leave in the puck sliding or what do you call it? The shuffleboard.
Yeah.
The mega shuffleboard we played. I was not happy seeing her go because I still think that even if she reacted a certain type of way in that moment, she still had my back over everybody else.
Yeah. Why were you so good at shuffleboard? Are you a big country club guy? What's going on?
I have no idea. I've actually never played shuffleboard ever.
Oh, really? I feel like you talked about. You're like, I know how to play shuffleboard in confession.
Well, like I mean, I guess I played it as a kid. Like, but these were like big ass pucks. It was just a different. And they gave us one practice shot.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Did you guys get practice in anything else?
No.
Okay. Interesting.
No. They stretched us before we did catch. But like we didn't get a practice really at anything else. But they give us one practice shot because like the floors were dirty and like if you give me a practice shot on anything, if I'm an athlete, right? I'm gonna be able to gauge a lot from just one practice shot. So that's why I ultimately felt really comfortable because I really don't play shuffleboard. Like I maybe when I was a kid at a bar once. Like not a kid, but you know, when I was younger.
Yeah. Wait, what kind of athlete are you?
Oh, I played football growing up. I played baseball. I did track. So just a little bit of everything. Let's get to this dinner with Trinity.
What was that like watching himself eliminate? It was hard to watch even from home.
Yeah, that was like, oh man, that was like, I almost cried. And like, I'm not a crier, but I was like, man, this is just emotional. And just like, once I figured it out first, I think what he was about to do, because I was the first one up. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. And then I saw him kind of getting emotional. I'm like, dude, are you about to do this like to everybody? And it just didn't feel right. You know, like he did everything he did to get to that point, and he spent just as much time as we did, the blood, sweat, tears, emotional. I mean, he did get to skip a game, so maybe not quite as much as we did, but still, like, you made it that far. You deserve to be here. But I think he just had a gut instinct, because he's all about his faith, and he's all about a God, a big follower of God, which, you know, respect to him. That's amazing. But I think that he thought someone else was more deserving, or that his path was to help other people by eliminating himself. You know, who can say what his thought process truly was, but it was kind of just like a moment where we're all just like, we're not even good enough for this moment. I don't know. It just felt surreal. It was wild. Very touching.
Have you seen anybody do that at a poker table before?
Never.
No, that doesn't happen.
I mean, maybe at like the beginning of tournaments, you'll have rich guys buy in and they'll go all in blind. But this is the beginning of a tournament. Like, you haven't invested any time. This man invested multiple weeks. Like, if you're at a final table and then someone does it, that would be like the equivalent. You're at the final table and someone just gives up. Like, it would never happen.
I know. And now he can't get orange juice for a year, and I'm very upset about it. We have to get him his orange juice. Like,
he has to get an orange juice deal. Like,
Tropicana, please.
Sunkiss, somebody.
I know. I if you can talk to him, tell him to please come on the podcast, because I will promote this orange juice thing. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, we'll do.
It's the last thing I do. It's the last thing I do.
We'll
get it for him.
You might already have one. Who knows, right?
I hope so. Then he doesn't have to come on. Whatever.
He deserves more than that, though. He deserves.
He does.
And I think good karma is going to come his way. I think there's going to be great things coming from Trinity.
Yeah, I mean, he's so likable.
He's such a genuine person. He means well, and he's low key funny. Like, I don't know if they had all his funny bits, but he's a funny dude. He's really funny.
I do think that's a thing missing from the show. Like I was like, I see some funny people here, and all I'm hearing is sad stories. Let's get some more funny stuff going on. You know, like the orange juice stuff. Come on.
Exactly. Yeah. I wish they would have done more bits of that too, because I had some good. I was talking shit in there a lot, and I'm sure there were some good one-liners. A lot of people had, but they ultimately went a different way with it. So, you know, they know what they're doing. Who am I to say anything, right?
Yeah, I'm sure the show's a hit. Yeah. So we get to the final game. What are you thinking when you see it's red light, green light?
Fuck. I was like, and everyone's like, oh, you had such an advantage. Like, no, I did not. I have ADHD. I can't stand still or shit. Like, I haven't even sat still ever in my life. Like, even at the poker table, I'm rocking around. I'm like the loud person at the poker table, is talking, who's like being friendly, not in an obnoxious way, but in a like, I just can't sit still very long. It's very hard for me to do. And we had to stand there for 10 minutes at a time. So my leg just gave out, and it was just numb, because and that's where I messed up. I should have practiced it. But I was not confident going into that game. I was just like, please like let me sit still for longer than like a minute, because it was probably 7 to 10 minutes where we had to freeze per time.
That is so long.
They opened the doors, cameras came out right up in your face, drones came around, like there was just, and we were just frozen, and we couldn't. And we're in dress shoes, so my whole right leg was just completely numb, and I was like, if I don't get down to the ground and start crawling on the next round, there's no way I'm gonna be able to manage, because my leg was shaking because I had no feeling in it. So I didn't trip. I actually fell on purpose to try to crawl.
Wow. So
these dogs are
there.
I can go inside.
Okay.
Let's move.
All right. We are on the move.
Yeah, I got some lights going here. Hold on. There we go. Better.
So, what you, after a few red light, green, okay. After a few red light, green lights, you're pretty far ahead.
Yeah.
Were you aware that you were ahead?
Yeah, I was. I was like, this is mine. This is mine as long as I can. But I still wasn't confident, because that's when the feeling of my leg was just gone. And I was like, shit, I got to come up with a plan here. And I did not come up with the right plan.
Oh, did your leg fall asleep?
It was completely dead. Like just I couldn't like my right knee was like shaking because I just couldn't stand there anymore. Like because it was multiple times in the same position for 10 minutes at a time. So they make it look so fast in the edits.
Yeah.
That was not the case.
Well, I figured because I know when they did it for the first season, it took like 7 hours to film the original one, or
Yeah.
like, you know, and it was in the cold and all this stuff. And my said that for filming rock, paper, scissors for the finale, it took 7 hours. So, you know,
Really?
yeah, they get to go through 40 keys. She said it
Oh,
took a
wow.
really long time. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
I
it
know.
didn't take anywhere near that amount of time, but it was definitely a lot longer than it looked.
So why did you end up falling? What happened?
So my plan was to get down on my hands in the next round.
Hold on, you cut out for a second. Can you say that again?
Yeah. My plan was to just drop down and crawl for the next round. That way I could be in like a hands and knees position, so my foot would regain life. But I just felt after she stopped singing. I didn't time it up. I didn't time it up right. So it looks like I tripped. I actually didn't trip. I fell on purpose.
Interesting. Are you just saying that to cover up your mistake?
No, I wish I could say. Honestly, that'd be a lot less words. I'm like, yeah, I tripped. I messed up. Like that'd be way cooler. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
dress shoes. But it was just I was trying to regain feeling in my right foot.
Yeah, and then the story makes a lot more sense how like Deja was able to pull her Achilles. I mean, that can happen at any time, but especially if you guys were going for so long and stopping and moving. Yeah, that makes
you're standing still with like and your muscles are just frozen for 10 minutes at a time, and then you're going to a sprint right after that. It's like your muscles tight, and then you just go bursting right out of it. So yeah, it makes sense. And that's honestly way more sad than what happened to me. Like can only imagine because she caught up. I didn't know that because I was already out. She caught up to Perla. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. So you're used to losing, and you've talked about this. You know, you lose the majority of the time. How long did it take you to get over, or are you over losing Squid Game the challenge?
Yeah, honestly, it probably took me a few weeks to get over it. In poker, it's a lot easier because you at least get a consolation prize. This was 0. So it took me a little bit, honestly. And especially knowing that I made the mistake, I dropped the ball. If it was like a complete luck factor, like a lot of people got eliminated by luck, I think I could deal with that a lot more. But just knowing that I kind of dropped the ball is why it took a little bit longer to get over. But at the end of the day, I think somebody else needed that money more. It wasn't my time. I've had my time with large sum of money. So I was just fortunate enough to be able to make it that far and grateful that I had the experience. So, but yeah, a couple weeks was pretty rough. And then you can't tell anyone too. So it's like, yeah, it sucks.
So would you do reality? So I guess it sounds like you'd be open to doing reality TV again. Would you do a competition show again?
Yeah, definitely would, for sure. I mean, a dating show would be dope, but like I would do another competition show. Like I'm a competitor at the end of the day, and you know, even though this wasn't maybe the most fun as far as because we're in there forever. I think a lot of other shows there's just a lot to gain from it. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm a competitor, so I'll be looking to do something for sure. So we'll see.
Is there one that would be like your most optimal one to go on, or one that you have your eye on? Anything like that?
Honestly, to be straightforward, I don't watch that much reality TV.
I was getting that vibe. Yeah.
So there's none in particular that I'm like, but like if they're like, hey, you could do this show, then I would go research it and be like, yeah, you could do that show. But like, there's just so many shows. It's just
there's
like
a million.
You get lost in the reality world. So I try not to watch too much.
Well, if you need any advice, Reality Alert is here for you. We do have a listener question. One question is, do you think Red Light, Green Light was a good finale game? If not, what game would you have played instead to make it fair for everyone and as entertaining as possible? And don't say Texas Hold'em. Don't say that.
Texas Hold'em, right? No. Honestly, it was cool. It was a cool game to end it with, but we kind of all were speculating, like all 4 of us left, and we were thinking that it was going to be like a game of 100% chance. Like you pick this box and one of the boxes is the winner, something like that. That would have been crazy though, to do that for like $4 million. I think it was a decent finale game because you're kind of like a lot of the games we played, you're in a team game. This was one of them that like, hey, you're in charge of your own destiny. So I did like that aspect, and I can't think of anything that would be better. Like it's just an iconic part of the show. So I
Yeah.
think they did a good job with it.
I think that like Dalgona isn't. I think that like combining the cookie game and something,
Like a race with it.
I don't know, something could be
Yeah.
fun. You know,
Or
like
just Delgana with just we all had to do the umbrella and it's a race.
yeah,
that would have been crazy.
yeah, that could be. I mean, I love Dalgona. I think that it's just like they really know how to edit that too. Dalgona from the first season was excellent, but
It was. I'm so glad we didn't have to play that too, because that would have
yeah.
sucked. That would have sucked.
What was here's another question. What was the general mood against everyone in the room when the winner was decided?
Well, none of us were in the
Well,
room.
none of you. Well, when you found out in the other room.
We didn't even find out. Well, like obviously Deja and Perla knew because they were in there, but like they took every time you got eliminated, they take you out and you don't know. So I had speculation like because when I got out, Perla was way ahead of Deja. So I was like, yeah, Perla won. Perla definitely won. But only them two really knew. And everyone else was speculating. Like Vanessa, it could have been one of us three. She knew it was out of us three, but nobody knew because they take us into isolation where we don't get to see anybody, especially the finalists. They took me, like, because when you're out, they put you back in the hotel. They gave us a separate hotel, like away from everyone else. So there was no communication. They didn't want it leaked.
So when did you find out?
Well, same time as everyone else, but we kind of knew because like I was cool people, so we were a little chatty.
A little chatty. You know,
like
we'll keep it on the hush hush.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I know.
We didn't really know.
You didn't really. I mean,
I'm like, yeah, Perla, you won.
Who won? You know.
Yeah. It was like
it's not unreasonable.
Actually, like a few of the castmates, we were talking since we were all together in this last week. They were convinced that Deja won the whole time. They were like, no, Deja won.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure she didn't, but okay, we'll find out tomorrow.
Had to get surgery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The story I heard was, so like there was no really, we didn't even really fully know. I mean, most of us anyway, you know?
Yeah. Well, I have one more question for you. Trey from season 1, I had him on the podcast and he gave me 3 rules for Squid Game. And I was wondering if you would let me know what you think about them. These are the rules. 1, never volunteer for anything. 2, always play the game. And 3, never be first in line.
Yeah, that's a really good rule. I can't, yeah. And I mean, if I were to add one, it'd be just like make as many connections as possible, but without being too loud though, like kind of like quiet connections. You want people to like you, but not as like a collective whole, because then everyone sees that everyone likes you. But those are great games because you start volunteering, you see what happens. Like sometimes it's randomly good, but for the most part it's bad. Mm-hmm. And like, you don't want to be first. Me and Kevin were actually put first in the slides and ladders game. They paired us up and put us first because we were the strongest alliance. Look how that worked out for us. You know, they're an easy target because we're the only players on the board. So yeah, you want to stay in the back or the middle and just out of the shadows, or in the shadows, but have like quiet alliances is probably the best way.
Yeah, my theory for lines is that you should always try to be in the middle if you can control it. Yeah, based on like shoots and ladders, catch, and glass bridge, it seems that being in the middle is kind of always the safest, but it could always change. Yeah, Mai said that similar things to you about staying quiet but still forming connections. Like you don't want to be loud. Although she thinks that eventually you should start volunteering for things because then you control your fate, and that eventually you want to start doing that.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell when that script is flipped because we had the monitors, which we thought that was going to be good, but then they had to go up against other.
I know.
But then the last person that got the monitor got to straight eliminate someone. So it's like you just never know when that's going to flip. So I'd still say stay away from it.
I do too, because I think as long as you're making good connections and you're not being too loud, you are controlling your fate. Because as long as you're not being an asshole to your connections, your social game will save you. Like that is a way to kind of step up and you're making choices. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I agree with you. Yeah. It's like the more you talk about it, Squid Game is very complicated and interesting. I'm really enjoying the way that it's developing.
There's a lot of little intricacies that you have to like figure out and just like think about while you're in there. There's just so many little nuances.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciated watching you on the show. Sure did a lot of the more strategic minded people watching you play. You were a great character. I hope to see you again on TV. I think dating show would be super fun, but reality show too. Would love to talk Squid Game season 3 with you if you're interested. Where can people find you on the internet if they want to give you some support?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Steven.Jones.Jr. TikTok. I think my TikTok's just Steven Jr. Jones. But yeah, give me a shout. I'm on there.
Awesome. And for everybody else, I'm going to be back tomorrow covering the finale and reunion of Married at First Sight at 1 p.m. PST. And hopefully we'll get some more Squid Game interviews. Let's see. Otherwise, everybody else, have a good day. Okay. Bye.
Appreciate you.